What up? What up? This is Mike, the philosopher, along with Kamal Aristo. And this video is really, it's very controversial. I mean, we got some things going on. In this time, in this day and age, man, it's hard for me to understand why people do the things they do, and you would think that people would know better, but they don't. They don't learn. A lot of people claim to be the smartest people on the planet or very smart, and they still do dumb stuff. Okay, I like to say another word, but you know what I'm saying. And in this one, it's really not any better. And this is about some racial tensions about a so-called Harvard law professor who argues that the N-word should not be banned. And like, it should not be banned. Why? Now, I don't know if y'all know, but there is a law that's being passed now. I believe it's in Florida, where you can't say the word gay. Don't say gay. If you say gay, you get in trouble. Well, I've said it a couple times here. I don't know. But anyway, you can't say that word. You'll get in trouble. You'll get sued, whatever the case may be, and they will. There will be some repercussions behind it. So it's a law that's being passed in Florida, but somehow this N-word, everybody feels like they have the right to say it. Let me get into the story. Racial tensions and injustices across the U.S. and the globe are unfortunately nothing new. Neither are the responses that they inflict. So, for Randall Kennedy, a Harvard scholar and law professor, let me tell you, I've often thought this. And, correct me if I'm wrong. You can put it in the comments. But a lot of times, people who are considered scholastic has zero common sense. They just do. Now, I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying a lot of them who is scholastically, what can be considered successful. I mean, this guy is a Harvard law professor and a scholar, and he's saying the N-word should not be banned. Like, anyway, let me get into it more. He said, the Harvard law professor, has long been a concern for the majority of his life. He has been studying and writing about U.S. law and order, culture, and race. On February 8th, the 20th anniversary edition of his book, N-Word, the strange career of a troublesome word will hit the bookshelves loaded with a new introduction, where Kennedy stands by his original rejection of the erudition and excessive censorship of the N-word, claiming that the word is here to stay for good and for bad. It's here to stay for good and for bad. I think that there should be a bill again to just like the other word that's going on in Florida. I think there should be a bill for the N-word where you cannot say it. If you can get sued. This needs to be not just in a state law, but it should be in a federal law. Biden and Kamala should get on this, but I'm just done with people. I don't even care if this guy is a minority or black or whatever. It doesn't matter. This is just ridiculous. The book has aged well in the sense that its subject. The term N-word remains a key term in American race talk. this term remains a device, a weapon that people use to demean and interrogate people in terrorist actions. The term is still a very active word in America, in American society, and for that reason warrants attention. It's a terrible thing that this word is still so present. Like, look, man, there are a lot of words in the English language, in the American culture, and they all seem to fade away. Groovy, cool, gnarly. There are a lot of words that go extinct. What do you think about that, Ski?
Well, that's I'm not quite sure about that one at all.
Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of words that go extinct, man, and radical, tubular, stuff like that. Like, there are a lot of words that go extinct. Why this word continues to breathe breath and stay alive is beyond me. I just don't get it, man. And I will even say, African American people are just as guilty as this as anybody else.
That's one thing with the with the name, because they know the name is directed towards, but that happy, the word happy, why is that law now? You can't call somebody happy.
You can't. In Florida, man, they're pushing the bill towards doing that. Like, if kids go to school, the teachers can't bring it up. They can't say, "Are you?" They can't say none of that. It's amazing the bills that they can get passed in this country, and it's amazing that the bills they won't even bother with. Like, they're so worried about, like you say, happy. They're so worried about that word being said. You can't speak anything about them. You can't speak anything about the Jewish community. You can't say anything about a lot of people, but it seems as though derogatory terms towards African Americans is more than tolerated. It's almost accepted, and it's like they say, it can be a device, it could be a weapon, it could be demeaning, terrorist even, and they get to demean an entire group of people openly. And you got law professors who's writing books about it and titling their books about it, but you can't say happy, you can't say this, you can't say that. Like, this is ridiculous. I just don't get it, man. His original book was published in a different social setting before the rise of social media, which brought with it more scrutiny and language use, and exposed cases of racial and social injustice. My predictions have largely borne out. I must say, a bit surprised by probably shouldn't have been, but the dogmatic literalism of some of the people that I refer to as eruditionist. So, it's just crazy that we have to continue to deal. Like, let me give you another example. Like, in what is that? In Alabama, they're trying to suppress minority votes to the point where minorities can't vote at all, and they're trying to get it where it's as if they're trying to really morally kind of beat African Americans down to where they're emotionally, or I should say psychologically, just to a point where they just have to take everything that comes to them. I mean, this is just getting effing ridiculous. You got law professors writing books on, again, I don't care if he's a minority, a black guy, or whatever. It just doesn't make sense to me. And if it's not a black guy, they really don't need to be writing books and talk about it shouldn't be banned. I mean, you making money. You making money off of this work. You writing books. You're making money off a derogatory term. Now, if you're trying to educate people, I get it. But, if you're going to write a book, I can kind of understand why you don't want the word to be banned. But at the same time, it's amazing what the bills we do pass in like Florida, and it's amazing what bills that don't even get the time of day. Like, we got to deal with the Supreme Court, they got some things on their plate about voter suppression. And we got, I would even say abortion is another thing. Like, you're taking away the rights of a certain demographic, African Americans, let's just say it, and women with abortion, and you're okaying derogatory words towards them. You are protecting a demographic of homosexual and people of other ethnicities get a certain level of protection. And I just want to know, where is this country going? What are we doing? I just feel like it is something that really has to be, we really need to look ourselves in the mirror as a people or as a country for this. And welcome to the show, Black. Can you hear me? Hey, and we're talking about there's a law professor, man, who says the N-word should not be banned, should be tolerated. And he wrote a book on it, and it just amazes me, man, that people openly welcome derogatory terms towards African Americans. I mean, you even got Joe Rogan, okay, and there are a lot of people who are kind of boycotting Spotify because they got this guy on here saying derogatory and like he loved to say the N-word.
I heard about that recently. That tripped me out. I didn't know he even moved like that.
Yeah, I didn't know Joe moved like that too. He had a lot of African Americans on his show, man. And he didn't seem to be the bigoted type, but I mean, he said a lot of bigoted stuff. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen recently, what I heard, it's a lot of undertones, of just racial bias against Black people. He was using a gorilla analogy when he went in a certain particular place, and then he went back and said, something to the effect that it was, no white people there, it was just Black people. So the gorilla analogy was meant to describe all the Black people he saw,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
it was.
Yeah. He even said that Black people got a different brain than white people, man. I mean,
Yeah, people can look right at you, stare right across the table or desk from you, and just be cordial with you 1 minute, and in the back of their mind, they despise you. They envious of you. They hate you. They think less of you. You know what I mean? And it's just a way of life right now. We got to accept that. Like we can't be surprised about this kind of stuff no more. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just it's a fact of reality that ain't nobody gonna love us. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, but the thing is, man, we shouldn't even worry about that. We should demand respect, and not have this be a thing, because you can't do that with other communities. You can't even do that with the the homosexual community anymore. I mean, they surpassed minorities pretty much, or Black or African Americans, and getting rights and bills and stuff written for them. Because right now in Florida, there's a bill on the table that you can't say the word GAY. Can't say that word.
really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not, I don't think it has.
Is that a
Passed all the way.
derogatory word?
Well, according to them, it's like, look, you can't say that word. If you go to school, if a kid go to school, or whatever the case may be, or if you're in a professional setting, you can't say that word.
Dude, so what are you supposed to say?
That's a problem that a lot of people are having, because they're saying that they don't know what to do with this.
This is my thing, man.
Go ahead.
This is my thing, man. Quite honestly, I don't respect no man telling me what I can and can't say. That's one thing. I can say what the hell I want to say. So
Right,
that's
right.
one thing. Now,
But if this bill
with-
passed, you can get sued. Just so you know.
yeah, whatever. I'm not worrying about none of that. All I'm saying is this: I'm a grown man. I can say what I want to say. Now, on the other hand, I understand there may be some repercussions that come with that. I just got to be willing to be up for those repercussions. But you're not going to tell me what I can and can't say. There is a such thing as freedom of speech, right? Well, I thought it was.
Man, they're trying to take all rights away, man. They're trying to take freedom of speech away. They're trying to
100%.
take abortion from women away. They're trying to take all kind of rights away from certain amount of people. But when it comes to African Americans, we never get respected.
So hold on.
So and
No,
you got
go
law
ahead.
professors. You got law professors pushing the idea of the N-word and said it should not be banned. I mean, they don't even want to ban it, let alone write a bill, just like the homosexual bill. Because I think the N-word should have its own bill too. I mean, if we're going to do that for that community, we should do it for this community. You see what I'm saying?
And I just think you passing bills over frivolous, insignificant stuff, in my opinion. That's why I don't rock with none of this. I don't rock with the government, either party. Both ain't no party. We ain't having fun over here. I don't care what party you in, Democrat, Republican. Ain't nobody kicking it. We ain't having fun. Our people ain't partying. So I ain't with neither one. That's one thing. But like they wasting time voting and bringing up legislation and bills and over some insignificant stuff. This stuff is frivolous.
Well,
It's a waste of time.
but according to them, it's not frivolous. According to them, it's some important stuff, especially in that community. They don't want you using that word. My question is, where is the bill for this N-word? And is it something our community is pushing? One thing I have to kind of respect is the fact that, if you say something about the Jewish community, they on top of it. You say something about the Asian community, they on top of it. You say something about the gay community, they on top of it. So it's like, when are we going to get on top of it and get ahead of this and write bills for this stuff? Because right now it's out of control.
Man,
Everybody
we
feel
need
like
bills.
everybody feel like they can say it. Everybody feel like it should never be banned. And then you got people like Joe Rogan who's on Spotify with, you know, millions of subs, and he say it freely.
No,
I
they
mean,
paid him $100 million to do his podcast. 100 million.
yeah,
So, and that's why people was like, all right, we finna go for that bag he holding, because we thought he was cool, you know what I mean, for a hot minute. Like he kept it tucked under his elbow. You know what I mean? Like he kept it close to his chest. But now I guess he was on some shrooms or whatever. And maybe he just stirring up controversy because his ratings dropped. You know what I mean? You never know why people do stuff like this out the clear blue, and you got $100 million payday hanging over your head. Like, why would you jeopardize everything like this unless he's gonna compartmentalize his core audience to broaden, build them out some more? All the racist people, all the Trump supporters. Maybe he gonna shoot for them and just be like, all right, boom, I'm just going for y'all now. I'm gonna build y'all out. I'm finna alienate the black people, because we known for doing that. Anybody can alienate black people, and they stupid. They'll still rock with you if you bring the right guest on. If you bring a rapper on they rock with, boom, they gonna forget everything you did and said to them. We got short-term memory issues in our community. We forget what damage people have done to us. And then we, like, just like the doggone crime bill with your boy Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Like, he doggone, you know, helped create the doggone bill, and that got people 3 strikes. And then turn around and Trump somehow got people with felonies some voting rights all over again.
Hey, check this out. Check this out, Black.
And let me finish this before I forget. And then we turned around and put Joe back in office to throw us back in jail. Like, it's a cycle, man. We keep forgetting what people have done. So we can't be surprised by none of these cats, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they, you know, it's one and the same. And this is no longer this is a democracy. It's supposed to be a republic. When you put your hand on your chest, say the pledge, you're supposed to be pledging to the republic for which it stands.
Right.
This is no longer a republic. A republic, I ain't talking about Republican. I'm talking about the republic. Republic is where your actual civil rights are held. The democracy is the demonocracy. This is no longer, that's the fiat world that we live in. That's the fake laws that they keep creating under maritime admiralty. It has nothing to do with how you correspond with a living man. It has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It's a corporation to corporation.
Well, let me play this.
That's why it's getting worse and worse.
Let me play this clip here of Joe.
Black mom's wife, standard issue, pretty much. Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man all together. It's a strange combination. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Right? Don't give.
So that's what he was saying. It's not that black people don't have brains; it's a different brain. But what he was saying, because he had a mixed guy on his show, right? And the dude was like, my father is black, my mother is white, and he was like, oh man, that's a dope combination. You get the black man's body and physicality, but you get the white man's mind. I guess he's getting that from his mother or whatever, you know. And he was like, that's a dope little combination you got. And it was like, don't get me wrong, it's not that black people don't got no brains, but you know, it's different, you know, as if to say, you know, they're, you know, you're gonna want the white brain.
Well, I mean, people got to realize, man, we have not been activated. People that we call black people in this world have not been yet activated.
What do you mean activated?
We are operating in our lowest vibration over here.
Yeah,
our
okay.
Lowest frequency.
I get that, Black. But what I'm saying, man, is what is the solution, man? Because I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, it's easy. Go ahead. Go ahead, finish.
Well, because here's what I'm saying, and I'm gonna let you in also, Ski. What I'm saying is, why is it that Black people are comfortable? It seemed to me like we are at a point where we're comfortable being disrespected. Is because all we'll end up saying is, oh, well, they ain't gonna never love us. They're gonna continue to disrespect us. They're gonna say the N-word, this, that, and the third, and it just is what it is. Let's keep it pushing. Nah, don't no other community do that. When you talk greasy about them, they show up. But with our community, for whatever reason, we got so used to being disrespected that we don't do nothing about it. You see what I'm saying? It's almost
easy. It's an easy reason for that.
It's almost like a victim of a bully, right? It's like a victim of a bully. So if a bully keep bullying you, after a while, you just kind of expect to get bullied, and you don't really. I mean, you don't like it, but you just expect to get bullied, and you just continue to say, okay, well, I just know I got to show up with that lunch money so I don't get bullied, and I just give it to them, and so I can get on with my day. But I'm used to this bully right now, and I'm used to it. But if you say something, or if somebody else says something, they'll show up because they got the confidence to make some changes. But it seemed like our community, for whatever reason, man, we so comfortable with getting disrespected that we don't never do nothing about it.
Yeah, it's an analogy that comes to mind. It's like when you take a wild stallion out the wild, and you lasso him, you put him on a rope, and you tie him to this pole. The pole goes in circles. So as he's tied to this pole, he's gonna walk and buck and kick, and he's gonna be going in circles while he's doing it, walking and bucking and kicking. Till he gets tired of doing that, he's just gonna start walking. He's gonna walk in a circle so long that after he's done bucking and kicking and all that, now you can actually put a saddle on him and you can mount him, because you have broken him. They call that buck breaking, right? They have buck broken grown men the same way during the Willie Lynch programming. It's pretty much a program that we're under, and it's American made. It's called being a nigga, right? Nigga is American made. It's not universal to the whole world. It ain't no niggas. It's not niggas over on the other. Well, I mean, it's spread it. The mentality of it, the program of it has spread it, even to Caucasians. Some of them, because they want to be niggas, right? But it's a programming, is what I'm saying. It's if you break that person's spirit, that independent, self-assured identity that they supposed to have, the culture that they're connected to, where that they hold some decency, some pride. If you snatch that away from them, break them of who they are, then you can mount them, and you can turn them with a bit in the mouth, left, right. You can kick them in the butt and make them go faster, whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? This is a wild beast. This is an animal. Which is why we're in the Constitution. We're only 3/5 of a human. You know what I mean? Like, we're not even considered human. We're considered beast of burden. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is a programming. This is why we ain't gonna fight back, because we're buck broken, grown men who won't fight back.
Yeah. What you gotta say about that, Ski?
Yeah, that's we became an astonishment, proverbs and bywords to these heathens. Yeah, they own spread it. They got every gas station, liquor store, wig store. All them heathens do. Yeah, and then they call us that N-word. But yeah, it shouldn't bother us. Yeah, we know who we are. They made that up. They call us that. Yeah, them heathens do, because they know who we are at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you always say that, man. But I always think to myself, they don't care who we are. They don't care who we are.
They can say it all they want. They know who they is, and we know who we are, and they know who we.
But they don't care. Is what I'm saying. And
the only reason they don't care is because we don't care. We haven't been activated.
But that's my point. Why are we not doing something about that?
No money or nothing. They ain't put no reservations. They ain't giving no casinos and no put no logos on any team. Let's change that to just a state name now or something. Put a letter on there. You know.
Yeah, but it's like, I swear, man, everything gets passed. But like, we ain't even got reparations. We ain't got police reform. We getting voter rights taken away from us in Alabama. We getting all of these things, man. And it's like,
I'm telling you.
And the word African American, that's the word that needs to be banned.
I don't really got a problem with African American, man.
That's a byword, man.
What?
That's a byword. It's a whole. That's not who we are. They made stuff up, and it's like putting a brand on us.
Yeah,
letting the world know you own this thing. That ain't who we are. That ain't who we were.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all seen this. It was what's his name? Who was the head representative, Republican, Mitch McConnell. He said that, and this was about a week ago. He said that African Americans don't have no voter suppression or whatever, but they got just as many rights as Americans.
Right.
What you mean? So what are you saying? African Americans ain't Americans?
Of course not.
Like, they got just as Americans. Like we wasn't born here. Like, and that's how you know the mentality of these people, and you know what they saying. Sometimes what they saying in the background leaks into what they saying in public. So you know what he calling us in the background. And you know how he think of us in the background. He don't 100%. Think of us as real Americans.
We can't be surprised no more, man. And listen, it's really not nobody else's. It's not on nobody else's plate, man. That's all of this is supposed to. This is on our shoulders, black men's shoulders. This is for us to adjust and throw check. And if that's what it's gonna come to. It's on us to do it. Ain't nobody else gonna do it. Black women ain't gonna do it. Like ain't no Mexicans gonna do it for us. Ain't no Puerto Ricans, and it's on us. If we don't like something, we got every man. Listen, it don't even take a whole bunch of us. Black men are the most influential human beings on this planet, bar none. We have the most influence. What we say goes in influence, but power and the collectiveness ain't there, so it never carries weight because it is never backed by them.
Yeah, well,
so it get flipped to coonery.
Yeah, it's the problem is it's too embedded in pop culture. We need to get rid of it in pop culture. I mean, because it's not going to go away unless it we dead it. Us as the community, like you say, the black men, we need to dead that word in pop culture and let it die a death, so that when we stop saying it, because if we control all that, then we can dead it, and we can just say, look, that word is whack, that word is dead, we ain't rocking with that no more. We got new words. We use king now, we use queen now to
Yeah, but the thing is, man, we don't stand up to other black men like that. We don't stand up to these so-called street dudes, because the so-called street dudes are supposedly the muscle of the community, and they the ones who constantly threatening people. I'll clap you and I'll shoot you and I'll, this, that, and the third. Aggression, violence. They tough. And they the ones that the world sees as the true depiction of who we are. So it's them that carries the negative portrayal and image, and they're projected in the mainstream. But it's people like us who are, you know, open-minded, who got logical capabilities, who actually are the majority. Listen, man, we are tolerating too much because these thugs, I can't stand thugs. I can't stand street dudes.
Yeah, because they'll only come after their own kind. They ain't gonna go after, you know, who they need to be going after. They the most
self-destructive dudes. Like they are the house nigga of the community, and nobody calls them out on it.
Right.
Nobody calls them out on that. Like you are destroying your community. You ain't benefiting us at all.
But that's why we can't count on them, man. It has to be another demographic of men to stand up to, because those guys are lost. I don't even really you know, acknowledge them as being some kind of a community leaders or anything. They're lost guys. Okay, they're nobody to hand the responsibility of the community over to.
The music and a lot of the influence, if it don't go through that community, then it is looked at as corny, as, you know, square, or, you know, whatever negative connotation you want to put on it.
But here's the thing though, Black, you don't have to.
Hold on 1 second. I just want to know who is these street dudes that we're talking about. Because we talking about people with influence.
The Pookie and Ray Rays. But what I'm saying is,
the killers, the
Pookie, and who is the Pookie and Ray Rays though?
The gangsters, the hood dudes.
The dudes that's in the hood.
Yeah.
But we talking about people with influence. We got nigga.
But that's what I'm saying. So it, like you saying, it has to go through that community. I say it don't. I think the corniest guys on the planet can get this job done by writing laws and you know, reporting this stuff on.
Still nigga, who give it to them?
What's that?
Influence. We're talking about influence now.
Yeah, we talking about influence, but like I said, look, there are a lot of influential people who wasn't from the streets, man. MLK was one of them.
No, that's my point. Is not that. My point
that's my point. We don't need to go through that community though, Black.
Well, I mean, listen, I understand your perspective on that, but if that was the case, we would have been got this done. It's a two-part situation for me. It's like, in my humble opinion, I believe he is to work with the dudes who carry so-called influence in our communities with the minds of the young ones, the minds of the youth. If you cannot get the young ones, because they are heavily influenced by all the music, they heavily influenced by the culture, the street culture and all that. If you tell somebody, you know, listen, you need to read, you know what I mean? This really where it's at, for real. Pick up this book. I got 10 books I want you to read. It's not going to be respected. It's not going to be received, more than likely. No matter who you are. They not going to really rock with that. But let a street dude tell them something. And they'll jump out the window. Here, I'm going to put this burner in your lap. I want you to run down the block and hold this pack, or, you know, they'll jump off the porch.
We have to find another way, man. We can't go through that community to get things done. I mean, we just can't.
I mean, listen, I'm willing to listen, but I'm telling you, it's gonna have to be a coalition of us and them sitting down and really coming on one page. Because everything we build up, they put here, they built to destroy. And we can't have that no more, is my point. We can't tolerate that no more, is my point. Y'all selling drugs in your own community, we can't have that no more, man. Like, we can't have these frivolous murders no more over street corner. That's corny.
Yeah, that is. What you got to say, Sean?
I was going to say, just kind of adding on to his point, that I think right now, unfortunately, we kind of like in this snowballing cycle of like Cuz said, that evil switches on. It seems like negativity is the way to go now. I remember just a few years back they was talking about, Big Petty, and people was laughing at, like, it was like hashtag petty. And people would tell their stories on social media like, oh, I did this, y'all, ha ha ha, petty. And it was like applauded back when, back when I was coming up, or probably when y'all was coming up, being petty was like, okay, we not messing with dude because he's petty. Like, you know what I mean? And so a lot of the negative personality traits in society, I think they've been applauded, and so that's why I said it's like this snowballing effect. And so for the youth and the OGs to really sit down, it's like it's really hard because you got a lot. It almost feels like the crack era again, right? Where everybody is strung out on something, and it's like it's crazy, Right now, these young kids are strung out, like you said, on a lot of different things, and so it make it hard for them to listen. Like their attention span is not more than 15 seconds.
Right. But let me say this though, Sean, because what we're talking about is why our community don't really stand up for itself. And Black brought up the concept that it's because too many people in our community follow the hood dudes, the Pookie and Ray Rays, and
right,
and things like that. And my whole thing is, if we're trying to pass laws, because this professor is saying that the N-word should not be banned, and I'm saying, why is the N-word not banned, but being gay is being banned? And
the
they
only
have
Pookies and Ray Rays is on the radio rapping. Them the only Pookies and Ray Rays now. That the drug gang that been dead. They killed that in the late 90s. That's been.
What are you talking about? The conscious guys?
I'm talking about the Pookies and Ray Rays. That's been done.
No. That actually got. But that came to the forefront though, Ski. That came to the forefront. What died is consciousness and intelligence and smart. Like poor PRT, poor righteous teachers. You don't hear rappers like that.
The consciousness was dead in rap. Now all the Pookies and Ray Rays rapping, and they thugs. They talking about killing. You go listen.
But that's my point, though.
At one point in time, though, we used to buck the system, and it was applauded because it was what we did, against who we saw as our real.
Yeah, these kids go their own route.
And that same act of bucking the system, it's different because we're not sticking together. But they still bucking the system. They just like, I'm gonna do it alone. And unfortunately, they even targeting their own people.
These
if you look at it,
nobody now. They following their own self now. They do their own thing after they listen to what they listen to.
And they don't know what they're doing either. They're not listening to the old heads because they think the old heads don't know nothing. Like, the only thing that really rules is money. The only way they'll listen is if you rich. If you rich, then you can get a young cat's ear. But if you're not rich, or if you're not, your wisdom, your intelligence don't mean nothing to them. And that's where the community is falling apart, because just because you're not in a financial situation doesn't mean you don't have wisdom. You didn't collect wisdom on your journey in life. And a lot of these guys, that's all they go by. That's all that's really important to them. How do I get the bag? I mean, that's not even just for the men, that's for the women too. That's all they care about, is how I get the bag. And if you ain't got the bag, why am I listening to you? But what I'm saying is, we need to get to a point where we don't rely on the young bucks, these guys. We need to really rely on, we need to have more leaders in the community that will do some things and organize to where there are repercussions if you go against the community. I mean, because you see the Jewish people doing that. I don't see why Black people can't do that either. Now we're not in a position where we
Because
have
we scared.
no,
scared our own
we're not in positions where we have financial repercussions for not messing with us. I mean, we could do something like that, but a lot of it is we don't have the financial repercussions. Like, say for instance, if the Jewish community get disrespected, they'll take your show away, Nick Cannon, right? Or
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, or Whoopi Goldberg, you've been suspended because you're talking about, like, they have those repercussions. Or if they don't own the show, they they run the bank that the show go, so they have ways of getting their point across, and that so that people don't talk greasy about them. What we have to do as a community is something similar to that. And I actually respect that about the Jewish community, because they don't sit up here and just say, oh, woe is me, I'm used to it. They ain't gonna never love us. They ain't gonna, no, it's consequences.
They ready to shut some down. They get exposed. They know they fake as ever.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. But what I'm saying is they actually have what I'm saying is they have there's a response to it. Okay, there's a cause and then there's an effect. If you have if you do something, there will be an effect, and there will be something negative towards you. Like I said, Nick Cannon,
because they
Whoopi said that. Yeah, I mean they have the money.
That's simple.
Pretty much own Hollywood.
It's not to be respected because it's under false pretenses.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say that. It's not under false pretenses.
100%.
They're all they're doing.
I know thy works and tribulations.
But
know thy poverty, but thou art rich.
But all they're doing, Black, is what we should be doing.
Would say they are Jews.
Are you listening? All they're doing is what we should be doing. Is what I'm saying. We should be moving similar to that, and there should be repercussions. Now, India Ari, she did take her music off Spotify. I think there were probably a couple other artists who did do a protest and took their music off Spotify. Like, they ain't go respect the platform if they letting some dude just talk greasy about them. You know what I mean? And then you have Brian Flores with the NFL. So, I mean, he's filing the lawsuit because he getting sick and tired of it. So, I mean...
that goes to my solution. Man. Outside of depending on our youth, which we already know.
But that was your solution, depending on the youth.
No, well, what I'm saying is, yes, it's going to be dependent on the youth because they're going to carry the future on. So at some point, you have to interact with the youth, but you have to be a person that they honor and respect. Otherwise, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So, but let that story tell itself. My point is this. There's another solution that I have that I don't want to say on air. There's a real solution. And this solution is a practical one, and it's long overdue. It's necessary. It's going to take some work, some reading on our part, and it has nothing to do with religion. This solution is practical, and I want to build with you privately outside of this, because it ain't for the world to know our solution.
Okay. Well, what do you got for that, Ski? Anyway, what do you got? What do you think? Sean dropped off for a minute, but he's back now. What do you think about about that, Sean? Do you have any thoughts on the subject?
I'm sorry, I kind of was in and out on it.
Yeah.
If I'm not, you said the some professor is trying to get the word gay banned, and the question.
The professor is trying to saying that the N-word should not be banned, but in Florida there is a law to ban the word gay.
Yeah, no,
my whole thing is they should that law should be for the N-word. It shouldn't be for the other word.
I think we're gonna be in a place where people is scared to say any word in a minute. Not that be some repercussions behind both, but it's like, look, we gotta. I don't know. This feels very cancel culture to me.
Well, yeah, it is. You're right. It is cancel culture. But if anything should be cancel culture, it's the N-word, right? I mean,
I ain't tripping on the word. I'm tripping on the treatment.
But what I'm saying is that should be number one on the list. Now, yeah, you talking about the treatment, that goes without saying. But what I'm saying is maybe we need to get in better position so that there are repercussions. Because right now, the only thing we can do is take our music off Spotify, or we can not do a show. I remember Ray Charles when he was in the South, and they wasn't respecting him or the people. He stopped doing shows, and I think in this day and age, I think Kaepernick is the one who really was the set it off as far as not putting up with the BS no more. What do y'all think about that?
Well, real quick, my thing, man, is like I said, I want to build off camera. I got a solution that I know will work. It's an absolute solution, and it ain't for the world to know. So let's build off of this.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Since the BMR covered it, now it's official. Everybody, y'all need to get rid of that word, that N word. And y'all need to, not be derogatory towards no minorities or no people. It's just simple as that. Hit the like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.